Stephanie Sterling's content has been increasingly improving over time. I know, because I've watched it. I've watched almost all of it. I've been following Stephanie Sterling now for like, I don't know, 10 fucking years. A long fucking time. A very long fucking time. Back from the Escapist days, the whole fucking bit, all that. And the content just keeps getting better. I think it's at a refined, it's just so refined right now. It's so great. The rage that's being expressed in the right places. It's so fucking good. Back in the day, it used to be more scattered. You know, I was mad about this game, that game, the game specifically. People are pissed off because Jim's going to talk about whatever the fuck Jim wants to talk about. And that's usually the people making the games at this point. And a lot of people want to ignore the people making the games and focus on the games, which ain't even, people make them. We can't just ignore that there's like awful game companies ruining video games for people. Like, how can you fucking ignore that? But that's what a lot of detractors will say. Like, you're just ruining video games, like by talking bad about. And I get a lot of that now myself. I get it in my comments. Like, why are you talking about other things in the world instead of the video game we hate? Just make fun of the video game we hate and don't talk about anything else.
Despite Jim's own claims that it is a relatively recent reaction to Jim coming out as a non-binary individual. Of course, Jim claims that the loss of subscribers can be directly correlated.
Of course? Like, what kind of fucking, like, mellow-ass, low-key fucking transphobia is that? Yes, of course. Yes. You lose a lot of subs when you do that because it fucks people's brains up because they're not ready to handle it. We still have a lot of baby brain people in our society. So yes, when Jim said, I am Jim Stephanie Sterling, and came out in all of their glory, yeah, they lost like a lot of subscribers. They were around 1 million and now they're around like 700,000, I think. Here, let's get an accurate count on where they're at now. But yeah, they lost a shit ton of subscribers. So if you haven't, subscribe to Jim Stephanie Sterling. And let's get them back up to 1 million subscribers. They should really be there. They make some of the best content that's ever been made on the entire fucking internet. Yeah, I'm biased as fuck. I'm just biased as fuck because I can recognize quality when I see it. Unlike this, what the fuck is this video? Like, this motherfucker isn't on camera. At least the audio is pretty decent, but what the fuck are you playing? You're just playing a fucking awful looking first person shooter game and just bitching about Jim Sterling? Like, the fuck is this? This is the most ridiculous shit. Like, this is the downfall. You don't have a downfall. You're just already at the fucking bottom. And like, are you ever going anywhere with this shit? Does it get better? Like, where the fuck is your channel doing that's so much better than Jim Stephanie Sterling's fucking channel, motherfucker? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, you're talking about this. And like, what grand piece of fucking media are you creating where you can talk about the downfall of this, that, and the other? I think they're just making like nonstop Jim Stephanie Sterling videos. There's like 1 to 2 days ago. Jim Sterling supports harassers and abusers. The fuck? Oh yeah, they'll go on about that too. Like, apparently there's like a game company that Jim has missed bad mouthing, and then that's a fucking problem. Like, yo, Stephanie Sterling is one fucking person. They can't like take on every single shitty game developer on the planet. God knows I'm trying to get Stephanie to come over here and look at Marvel Strike Force with us. They're busy, okay? They're fucking busy. So they missed one. What are you going to fucking do? This content looks like bullshit. This whole channel is bullshit and no one's watching it. All right. Yeah, there's no downfall to be had here. You're already fallen and you can't get up.
With coming out as non-binary. However, statistics from Social Blade directly contradict this claim, showing that Jim had in fact been losing subscribers since October of 2020, with the sole exception being a...
Yeah, I mean, there was the tipping point, right? There was the tipping point where it was really bold, and then there was a lot of hinting beforehand. So there was a lot of hinting before. You'd have to actually pay attention, because I knew what the fuck was going on with Jim Stephanie Sterling long before the reveal. The reveal was like, it's fucking time. It's fucking time. Well, it's good. That's good. I don't actually want to give this person views. You want to move on to Jim Sterling? Let's move on to Jim Stephanie Sterling. Let's do it. Because I think I've said my piece on this shit. Fuck this person. Let's go. Let's go. I like this video better anyways. Here's a good fucking video. If you don't know who Jim Stephanie Sterling is, that they're trans. They're whatever. I don't even like to get into it. I let them describe what is going on with them. I say they and them. That's all good. Whatever the fuck, man. Look, they've decided to do whatever the fuck they've decided to do. And that's great. I think it's great. They're fucking happy and I'm fucking happy too. We're all happy people.
Here we go again. I've been told a couple times this year by quite a few people that I talk about game industry abuse too much. It's depressing. We just want to move on. I miss when you criticised the video games. You just focused on the software. And you know what? I'm inclined to agree. I do talk about industry abuse too much. I have to because it keeps happening too much. It just keeps happening. And the stories that do come out only manage to get worse and worse because nothing's been fixed. Nothing gets fixed. It's an industry that doesn't want to change. It's an industry that doesn't feel it has to change because everyone keeps letting them get away with it. Products are more important than people. I've criticised the game industry so much for thinking that, and here we are, the community, or rather a large, disappointing contingent of the community, thinking it as well. You don't think that I'd like to change the record? You don't think I've got other stuff I'd rather talk about? I've got ideas for episodes, and I have to keep focusing on this because it needs to have focus kept on it. So let's look once again.
Like, exactly. It can't be summed up better than that, and that's why I'm playing it. That is why I talk about other shit than Marvel Strike Force. That's why I will go off on bigots and anti-vaxxers and all the shit that I go off about. That's why I talk about Scopely instead of anything else. It's why I've totally derailed my channel from what could have been a very successful content creator. I could be a fucking envoy right now, getting paid to make videos in fucking bathrobes or whatever the fuck envoys get paid to make videos about. I could totally be doing that shit. One of my most lucrative things was I did a stream for Raid Shadow Legends and I got paid $600 for an hour worth of work. That's great. I might even do something like that again. However, afterwards I will badmouth Raid Shadow Legends and tell you that that is a fucked up game. No one should play it. I did it for the money and then I uninstalled it.
Bobby Kotick, a terrible, awful, horrible human being who, it turns out, very much like the game industry en masse, can only get worse. Well, what a complete and utter fucking shock. It turns out that Bobby Kotick, the billionaire CEO of an openly corrupt and unethical corporation that perpetuated a sickening workplace culture for years, is himself an abusive...
Look, I don't even want to ask. Are you just saying hello? Do you not know what's going on? They're boomers? What's happening? Hi. Yep, bigots play video games. Bigots make them. Bobby Kotick's an asshole. Fuck this company. I can't play these fucking games anymore. I can't. I really can't. Like, video games are becoming ruined for me. The more you open your eyes to the shit that goes on to make video games, the more you don't want to play them. And a lot of the problem behind this is that video games are just rampant capitalism at this point. They are products that make money and they're no longer works of art. The big ones. Now, I just pointed out because I'm playing it, Darkest Dungeon 2 has a nice balance of commerce and art to it. It's made by a smaller studio. Red Hook Games, don't work for them, but fucking love them. And they have artistry in their game. It is a game that you can call, it has a high level of art in it. I think all games are art. Even fucking shitty mobile games have art in them and are artistic statements, but the slider's way over on like the evil capitalism side of things and way far away from the artistic side of things. And I think there's a nice balance that we could strike between that. Games back in the day had a much better balance between art and just fucking cash grabbing bullshit. And when we go too far over into the cash grabbing bullshit side, it's not even video games anymore. It's actual crap.
Corrupt, utterly fucking unhinged piece of garbage. Yes, Bobby Kotick, long hated by the game-playing public for being an overprivileged, underhanded little shit, has been named as an abuser, an enabler, a creep, and quite possibly violent, at least mentally, in a Wall Street Journal report that has had the game industry reeling in shock. At least some of it. A few of us can hardly feign surprise that the man running a company rife with systemic abuse could himself be in on the abuse. Oh, Sony bosses, oh, Microsoft bosses, are you surprised? Maybe you can stop promoting Call of Duty on your fucking storefronts. Earlier this year, Activision Blizzard joined a dismaying number of video game companies that have been outed as boasting a truly horrific culture of abuse that includes mistreatment of marginalized employees, sexual harassment, and other forms of terrible behavior. As CEO of the company, Bobby Kotick should have been held accountable to begin with, but he was allowed to feign ignorance, pretend to be shocked, and perform a pantomime of contrition without facing any real consequences. But this past week demonstrated something we should all know to be true, something I've been saying for over a year now. You don't get to run a company that's abusive on a systematic cultural level without not only knowing about that abuse, but condoning and possibly even partaking in it. Do Yves Joumeau next. I won't go over Activision's overall allegations again. Suffice to say, they're horrifying, involve at least one worker driven to suicide, and are currently being laid bare in a federal court case. Throughout these allegations, Bobby Kotick, very much like Joumeau of Ubisoft, has been more concerned with ducking personal accountability than actually fixing the company, acting like he was just as shocked as everyone else about the allegations, vowing to change things without actually doing anything, and taking a performative pay cut that amounts to pocket change for a billionaire who's already had over $150 million.
So yeah, and there's where the money goes. There's where the money goes. All this insane fucking money that is made off of these shitty fucking products with no artistic integrity, or have had the artistic integrity beaten the fuck out of them at some point in the process, because nobody actually gives a fuck what they're making when it comes to these large fucking AAA games and bullshit. All the money goes up to the top, and the people who actually make the game don't actually profit when the game is the huge success that it is, because it appeals to a mass market instead of being a work of, you know, love or whatever the fuck is happening. And indie studios can be crass as well. Smaller games can also, you can look at them and, you know, usually you'll find them on your cell phone. The smaller companies will make these things. Boundless isn't a large company, but they make shitty games too. It's not all indie studios. You really got to look for it. You got to look for something that is not full of shit. And it's harder to find now.
Of company money this year alone. Turns out, however, that Bobby Kotick knew about the abuses of his workforce all along, because of course he fucking did. He knew for years about allegations of sexual misconduct, and he did nothing. Oh wait, he didn't do nothing. He covered up for it and joined in. The Wall Street Journal's report opens by recounting how Activision quietly reached an out-of-court settlement with a woman who was raped by her supervisor at Sledgehammer Games and was ignored by the company when she reported it. It said that Bobby Kotick knew about this situation but kept it quiet, not even telling Activision's board of directors about the allegations or the settlement. A paper trail of emails and memos, as well as statements from company members, implicate Bobby Kotick as very invested in covering up misconduct in his company, pressuring staff to keep quiet about it, publicly praising those with allegations against them when they left the company as a result, and routinely hiding information from the board. One particularly damning story involves Treyarch co-head Dan Bunting, who was accused of sexual harassment in 2017. After an internal investigation, Human Resources recommended Bunting be fired, but Kotick personally stepped in to ensure it didn't happen and protected Bunting's job. Bunting was allowed to remain at his post right up until the Wall Street Journal started investigating, at which point he slinked off like a fucking worm. The story has more, all in the same vein, reports of terrible misconduct and assault, nothing being done, Bobby Kotick keeping his slimy little mouth shut, plus, you know, all the allegations levelled at the gurning little pustule himself. This grimy worm boy has been accused of mistreatment by multiple women over the years, covering up each incident with all the careful efficiency of his company's tax dodging racket. One particularly shocking story, which has been admitted to, is that Kotick harassed one of his assistants to such a degree that he left a voicemail threatening to have her killed. According to Activision, doing this was okay, however, because Mr. Kotick quickly apologised 16 years ago for the obviously hyperbolic and inappropriate voicemail, and he deeply regrets the exaggeration and...
What the fuck? Bobby Kotick is the biggest piece of shit that ever shit. What the fuck is going on? That's insane. Holy shit. Is this guy getting locked up?
Tone in his voicemail to this day. A corporate statement that amounts to, he was only trolling. They did not comment on the time he told a flight attendant he'd harassed that, and I quote, "I'm going to destroy you." I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Like I said, it goes on and on and on, and one thing is clear, Bobby Kotick is a fucking deranged creep, a harasser, a protector of rapists, a conscienceless fucking monster. What is it about people who hoard 99% of the world's wealth and knowingly benefit from downright lethal class disparity, having no moral compass? If only there was something self-explanatory about that. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know that in the wake of this damning report, Activision Blizzard is going to enforce its recently announced...
Yeah, this is different than saying things in chat. He's saying this IRL to like real people and like his employees. Nah, I'm not careful with quotes out of context. This is fine. This shit happened. This was out in the open, voicemails and shit. This isn't like typey. That's bad. This isn't good.
Zero tolerance policy on harassment and do something about the man who oversaw years of harassment. Oh wait, nope. They've said they're not going to do anything. In a truly grotesque display of how the super wealthy live by a different set of rules to the rest of us, Activision Blizzard's board has announced that it plans to stand by Bob.
See, fuck this. Fuck Activision Blizzard. Just fuck this. Nah, it's over. It's over. I ain't playing no more Activision Blizzard games. It's done. Just fuck this. If they burn it all down and change their names, maybe we could consider playing Activision Blizzard games again. But fuck this shit. No games are this good. There's no game on the planet that's good enough to get me to ignore shit like this.
Bobby Kotick. The Activision Blizzard board remains committed to the goal of making Activision Blizzard the most welcoming and inclusive company in the industry. They stated as if telling some sort of twisted fucking joke. Under Bobby Kotick's leadership, the company is already implementing industry-leading changes, including...
Look, first-person shooters fucking suck anyways unless they're on VR. And a lot of independent companies make games on VR. Almost no major companies even fucking make games for VR. So I'm just going there if I need to play a fucking first-person shooter, which I don't often need to do. But when I do, I'll do it in fucking VR with like with a small fucking independent company. Let me know if you want to see that, because I was thinking about just going and just checking out all kinds of independent games on VR, because that's where the fucking future is anyways.
Including a zero-tolerance harassment policy, a dedication to achieving significant increases to the percentages of women and non-binary people in our workforce, and significant internal and external investments to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent. The board remains confident that Bobby Kotick appropriately addressed workplace issues brought to his attention. So basically, Activision's response boils down to, sorry about all the rape, but it's okay because we might hire some more NBs. By the way, as an NB, fuck you for using us like that, you fucking cowardly, hypocritical pricks. We're not your excuse, nor are women. Fuck you! Bobby Kotick is a known abuser. Less than 1 day after announcing its so-called zero-tolerance policy, Activision Blizzard has publicly committed to backing an abuser at the highest level of the company.
That's just fucking gross. That's just fucking gross. You know what? I was mentioning VR, and I got another video on that. Yeah, I would highly suggest watching all of James Stephanie Sterling's videos. I'll put the link down below. I want to go right over to VR though while I'm on the subject, because I got another video over here. This is by Thrill Seeker. It's about the state of the VR industry. What the fuck is going on? Are they fucking up VR already? Like that wasn't like. Are no video games good? Can we not have nice things anymore? What the fuck is actually happening? I gotta check this one out.
This may be the most important video on my channel yet. If you've noticed something has been weird lately, this will explain it all. We need to have a serious talk about virtual reality, its future, my future within it, and most importantly, your future within it. Something has been on my mind for weeks now, and I've thought about it endlessly to the point that it's affected my content and upload schedule. It's affected my own excitement for making creative videos about VR, and if you can't tell, it's even affected my tone. I almost feel that I can't move forward with my channel until this is said. So, here it is. This is the state of the VR industry, an inside look that most people just don't talk about because it's uncomfortable. This
is great. Yeah, I'm really interested in this. I mean, I have to do this all the time. I was making fucking videos about, video games, and I'm like, fuck, I can't keep doing this. I gotta talk about this shit that I know. I can't not talk about all the awful practices that go on behind the fucking scenes. All right, what the fuck is wrong with VR? God damn it.
This is also my stance moving forward on Meta, Oculus, and Facebook. The good and the bad they're doing for VR. And this is how we can use and manipulate Meta to make them do what we want for a brighter virtual reality future. This is how we take VR back for us. This is my game plan. Let's start this conversation here, this channel. Over the past few years, I have dedicated my life to making videos about virtual reality in general. My channel isn't news, it's not reviews, it's not commentary or comedy, it's all of them, I guess. It's just a general VR channel, I do kind of all of it. It's been the craziest, most fulfilling adventure I could have ever dreamt of, and I feel lucky every single day to have a voice in the VR industry and to be able to make real change in the thing I love, and to bring VR to hundreds of thousands of people. And my favorite part is the community that's built up around this channel in VR chat and Discord and Twitch, and of course everyone here that clicks on every single video. I love you guys, and I feel like this is one big family with one common interest, and that's an infatuation for virtual reality, just like me. But you know what? None of that means anything if I'm not real and transparent with you guys about my true thoughts on things and give you guys real updates on how things really are. There's a sort of responsibility and opportunity to do as much as I can to help lead virtual reality down a path that benefits everyone it touches. And if we're gonna get awards, I'm gonna use them to further push my voice. I either try and do something or I do nothing, and I'll try something every single time. But at the same time, I go from a video titled, "This is not our metaverse," breaking down my concerns for a meta-controlled VR future, to just a couple weeks later, "Hey, look at Meta's new glove prototypes, they're insane." So, what is it, Thrill? Are you for Meta, or are you against it? If I dislike Meta's vision of the metaverse so much, wouldn't the best thing be to just boycott Meta or something similar? And no, I can't. It's not that simple, and it's not black and white, but there is something we can do. Let me lay down the context. I don't want to repeat myself from the metaverse video, but this needs to be stated here before I go forward. I don't have any direct bias or hatred for Meta or Facebook. I do, however, have a love and bias for VR and the VR community. I am fully aware that Meta is a corporation, and they will function like a corporation that offers products and services and answers not to the people, but to shareholders. And with that are positives and negatives. It doesn't matter if Amazon or Google or anyone else was in Meta's position right now, they would get the exact same treatment and criticisms from me in the hope that we get a more fair and competitive and open VR future. But enough with that. Let's get into the actual video. Here are the problems. The VR industry in the West is monopolized right now, at least in terms of consumer VR. Facebook has a total grip on the entire industry from developers to hardware to the consumer base. Right now, Meta has 100% of the standalone VR market. If you have a VR headset and you don't have a PC, you have a Quest or Quest 2. There are 0 competitors, there is no alternative. They also have market dominance in PC VR, with over 60% of all headsets used on Steam being Meta products. The next competitor is the Valve Index at just over 16% of users. This is not good. Total market dominance and monopolization is terrifying in any industry, but at the same time, the growth for VR is really good. Millions of people are getting into VR for the first time, and it's good VR. The Quest 2 is such a good headset for such a good price, and it does so much more than its competition, and its software catalog is more mature than any standalone store out there, that it's kind of impossible for anyone to compete, especially in the same price range. And that gets us onto the second problem, the developer snowball. Because Meta has total VR market control at the moment, they also control developers. We see this already. Exclusive after exclusive, studio after studio.
Yeah, I'm hitting into this hard because I went for the PC version of the Oculus instead of the standalone Oculus, and I can't buy shit anymore. I can't go with the latest. They're telling me I need to buy an Oculus Quest 2 and that my PC VR is fucking outdated. They're being very fucking clear about it, and it is distressing. They have total control over the market, and they are using that control to force consumers into where they want them to be.
Getting acquired. If you want to make real money as a VR developer and to feed your team and yourself or your family, your best shot is to release on the Quest Store. It has the most users and active player base hungry for games and applications. More users equals more people buying games, which equals more games for that platform, which equals more users for that platform because there are more games. It's a snowball. And because developers' options are basically Steam and Steam VR and accept that you'll probably not make much money, PlayStation VR and accept that you'll just have to build your game for limited VR hardware, or the fruitful Quest Store. I'm not surprised that so many developers are making games exclusively for the Quest. It's their best shot at making enough money so that they can make another game and pay their people. And this further snowballs the meta monopolization and difficulty for anyone else to enter the industry.
It's all right. Yeah, that's good, Tiger King. It's not different than PlayStation or Xbox, and that's why I'm like kind of like fuck them too. I used to be a hardcore console fanboy. I didn't do PC games, and I'm really maturing out of that. I feel like that's like, I don't know. Maybe it was different. Maybe PC gaming just wasn't where it needed to be for me back in the day. Maybe I had the blinders on, but as far as being an informed consumer, you are better off with the PC right now, in my opinion. These consoles are bloated. They are insane. They don't necessarily offer better experiences. And yeah, 100% PC is the way to go now, in my opinion. I'm feeling that very strongly. I don't want any of the new console generations coming out. And I'm wary of the Oculus too, because of what's being described here. It's another fucking monopoly where like you're going to get abused. As a consumer, you're just going to get abused in these situations. It's going to be hard to avoid it.
Not only can they not compete in terms of hardware cost and capability, but they don't have games or an app store to compete either. And since all of the new users are on one platform, of course developers are developing for that platform. And this is all calculated. Facebook missed the smartphone craze. They won't be missing this one. And this is why they're dumping billions and billions of dollars into the VR industry. VR will explode in popularity, and they will be the leaders of the market when it does, or at least they want to be. And just being real, all the money being thrown in by Facebook over the past few years and in the future is helping the VR industry. Developers are finally making money for the first time so they can make more games and better games. VR is getting somewhat affordable and approachable. Reality Labs' innovations are crazy, but be aware, they are doing this not just to help the VR industry, but because they want to be the dominant force within it. And they want to be—
That glove is bullshit, by the way. You don't need a glove. There's a company out there that's making a panel that you can put down on like a surface, and then that panel can create touch sensations in the air. I mean, that glove might be great, but there's amazing shit on the horizon for VR. If you can take it out of the hands of one company and put it back into the hands of multiple companies, that might be some of the problem.
Be the dominant force and key holder of the metaverse, as they call it. And there's the other issue of them hiring tens of thousands of talented developers that are interested in VR from across the world. They are gobbling up VR talent everywhere and holding it for themselves. But regarding us immediately, there's a bigger problem here that puts us all in a really weird position. If someone asks you or me what headset they should get as a total newbie, really the only option is a Quest 2. Over the course of months, thousands and thousands of people have asked me the same question, and here's what that usually sounds like. I don't have a lot of money, but I really want to get into VR. If I have $300, what VR should I get? Now, I am primarily an index user on a PC. I have a Quest 2 that I use on the go, but if I'm by my PC all the time, I'd rather just use my index. But am I realistically gonna tell someone totally fresh to VR that just wants a cheap taste to go drop a couple grand and build a PC and buy an index? Or am I just gonna tell them to go to Best Buy and spend $300? It would be incredibly elitist and privileged and gatekeepy of me to not recommend the best, most affordable option out there. And honestly, it would be more disingenuous and confusing to anyone if I did anything otherwise. What do I seriously say? Nah, you only have $300, just save up 7 times that amount for slightly better VR that's not meta. Or, nah, you just shouldn't get a VR headset because meta sucks. Do you see what I'm saying here? In this position, I have no other option than to say just buy a Quest, because the alternative is don't do VR, wait, or spend money you don't have. When people come to me for recommendations, they just want to get into VR. They don't care about or know about all of the baggage or potential issues. They just want a good, cheap introduction into VR. And here's where the fun begins. I want to clear this up for everybody. This is what my introduction and recommendation regarding the Quest is. It's an introduction. Most people don't care about all of the problems I just talked about yet, because they haven't been in VR and aren't in the VR community yet. You shouldn't feel bad about recommending a Quest to somebody. It's a good piece of hardware, and you'd be lying if you said anything different. It's also the cheapest gate to entering the VR community, to seeing its potential while VR is legitimately in the Wild West. The more people we have in VR now and in the VR community that understand how important this is to our future directly increases the number of voices that can help shape VR ethically.
That's exactly how I felt about console gaming. Like, that's why I say, like, mature into PC gaming. Like, yeah, I started off with consoles because I was literally a child. I was like, you know, I didn't have money for a computer or to understand that or figure that out or maybe grasp it or understand that that was like my passion or whatever. Just, you know, get a fucking Nintendo and play some Nintendo, goddammit. And yeah, I would recommend the same thing. If you want to get into VR, this is a solid recommendation. It's $300. It's the lowest ceiling you're going to get. It's going to work coming out of the box. It plays fucking Resident Evil 4. Great. Check out VR. It's awesome. It's probably not even that much inferior to a multi-$1,000 PC setup. The main thing you're getting with that PC setup, and I'm not sure if he's going to talk about it, is you're getting more freedom of choice in that you don't have to only get, like, that's why I went with PC VR. I have a PC Oculus. I'm not that far away from a Quest 2. So I kind of did halvesies. I got the baby VR, you know, baby's first VR, but I got it on the PC so that I could at least use all the different stores out there and not just the Oculus store, because honestly, I don't like to buy software on the Oculus store. The Oculus store fucking sucks. Straight up, the Oculus store is going to be the worst part of the experience. Everything's overpriced because they control it. They control the old market. They can charge where the fuck they want. It's overpriced. They don't do sales. They sell you bullshit all the time. The quality control isn't there. It's fucked up. You'll easily pay twice or 3 times as much what you would pay for the same piece of software on the Oculus store that you can buy on the Steam store. The problem is I can no longer fucking buy any of the software because it's all going over to the Oculus 2 specifically. They don't even port it over. They've discontinued the PC version because they so desperately do not want you to have fucking options. So it is truly fucked. However, this is probably the easiest way to get into VR, and VR is fucking incredible these days. Like, there's a reason why it's exploding. That's because it's really fucking good. So totally check it out. But yeah, this is a problem. This is absolutely a huge fucking problem. They are going to control the entire fucking market on it until there's some kind of reasonable competitor on it. And they don't want a fucking competitor. They want a total fucking monopoly. Plus, here's another fucking reason why getting PC VR is desirable. And that is, and there's one fucking reason, and it's Half-Life Alyx is probably the single best like experience that I've had in VR. It is a fucking incredible experience. If you played Half-Life, you already kind of know. I never played any Half-Life before, so it was totally mind-blowing for me because from what I've heard, Half-Life is the shit, and this thing was like, it's basically the Half-Life 3 that everybody's been wanting. You know, it's not Gordon Freeman, but it is tied into the whole story, and it's fucking incredible. It is no other VR experience is compared to it. And that's from Valve, and that's the other system that this guy's talking about is the Valve one. So Valve is big into VR too. Hopefully they can do better at getting like a consumer version that is not thousands and thousands of dollars. My rig wasn't thousands. I'm kind of halfway in between. It was more than 300, but not less than 5,000, you know, but fuck. Yeah, it's really the store. The store is the fucking problem. The monopoly on the store, the price you're going to pay for the software, and the lack of their motivation to give you a reasonable deal on it.
For everybody now.
It's just full of shovelware. It like the fucking Oculus store is just full of the same bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit on the Steam store too, right? There's bullshit on both areas, but the Steam store constantly have sales. You know this if you've ever dealt with Steam. They constantly have sales, very good sales. I mean, I think I bought Half-Life Alyx for like $10. It's fucking crazy. It normally goes for like 60. I got it on sale for like fucking 10, and it's like one of the most incredible things I've ever done in my life. Amazing. That doesn't happen on the fucking Oculus store. They don't, everything's expensive, and then half of it is like totally fucking glitched out bullshit.
Now and not later, because they'll care and understand then. On top of that, right now we have seen the VR industry with zero competitors. Google is twiddling its thumbs, Valve is resting on its laurels of the index because nobody has made anything better, Amazon is busy f***ing up Twitch and delivering packages in 2 days, and the only real competitors are in China, and the CCP isn't any better than Meta, I'll tell you that much. But VR will be undeniable for every big tech company in time once there are enough users, and we can use Meta to get there. Use them as a leapfrog to invite competition. Let them spend the billions and billions to get VR to mainstream and to do the research and to make the cool things, and we can enjoy the games and hardware while doing it, and let them pay the bill that nobody else wants to pay to make VR financially viable for developers and competition alike. And once VR hits a big enough state, we jump ship and abandon the one that got us there. Because right now, there's like 1.5
Yeah, I'm absolutely. When I buy a new headset, it will not be a fucking Oculus headset. I will definitely jump ship to something else. And this video will help me do that as well, remembering this and getting this insight. So this is fucking awesome. I'm going to start following this channel. That's really great. I'll have the link down below to check it out. That is fantastic. You can trust me. I'm Mr. Hartgrave, Gravediggers. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know if you're getting into VR. This is a great tip. Go pick up an Oculus too. But remember, we're going to all jump ship. Get some fucking options in. You can trust me. I'm Mr. Hartgrave. I just said that. I don't know. Fuck it. Gravediggers. Keep digging.